This is Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog, coming to another edition of MLB Hotstove observations and, telling you what's going on. This is week number 10 that I've been doing this. So the Nationals re-signed Ryan Zimmerman, who had opted out of this season for COVID-19 and other related issues. He is back, but with Josh Bell and Kyle Schwarber, they got a problem of too many corner infielder DH types and not really the greatest defenders of all of them. He's back. If they institute the DH, that'll help him out. If not, then he's going to be a backup. The Braves claim Victor Arano and Kyle Garlick, just organizational depth piece. Kyle Garlick could be a good bench piece for the Braves with them losing Markakis and Duvall in free agency to have a guy come off the bench and pinch hit. Then the Red Sox signed Kike Hernandez, the utility player from the Dodgers, to a 2-year deal. He definitely will improve the second base hold they've had for a while with Pedroia being out, and can fill in whenever Bogarts and Devers need a day off. He can also play some first base, and he has experience playing all three outfield spots. That'll help the Red Sox there, just like needing some depth there. Then they signed Garrett Richards to a 1-year deal. After blowing out his arm with the Angels and signing a 2-year deal with the Padres to rehab Season 1 and then Season 2 pitching for the Padres, it's just a nice pitcher like Martin Perez to have like at the back rotation, because the Red Sox desperately need just guys to fill innings, especially in a full season now. The Reds acquired pitcher Colonial Perez, again, just organizational depth. Tigers signed Derek Holland to a minor league deal. He's going to continue to pitch because everybody loves left-handed pitching. So the Tigers may ask him to start some games, they may ask him to relieve some games, but either way, he's going to be used this year. The Yankees missed out on getting Joe Musgrove, and I'm like, okay. Joe Musgrove's like a back-end guy. So they go, let's trade for Jameson Taillon, the Pirates ace, who has battled cancer and has been coming back from Tommy John surgery. They traded 4 prospects. Right-handed pitchers Miguel Yajure, Rosani Contreras, infielder Miguel Escato, and outfielder Cannon Smith. Really, for the Pirates, they're just like, give us as many prospects as you can for all of our players. First Musgrove, now Taillon. They're just getting rid of everybody before you know. And they traded Bell. They probably will trade Colin Moran too before you know it, just because they just want to get it. Now the problem for the Yankees is Taillon, Kluber, and Severino. The 3 of them combined have not been healthy for a full season in multiple seasons. So that's going to be a problem for the Yankees, is relying on guys who haven't been the most healthy. The Braves have re-signed Mr. Panda, Pablo Sandoval, to a minor league deal. That will help them out because, as I said, no Duvall, Markakis. They need something off the bench to pinch hit. Riley hasn't been the most healthy, so that's good to have him on minor league deal. Nationals signed Brad Hand to replace Sean Doolittle. Imagine Will Harris, Daniel Hudson, Will Harris, and Brad Hand as your 3 late inning guys. They're really fixing their bullpen. That's a good thing because they had a down year. Denard Span, who announced his retirement last year really quietly, has now been hired for the Rays as special assistant for a front office. So that's good for him that he's going to be working in baseball. The Yankees, in order to save money, despite being the Yankees and supposedly having all the money, will trade Adam Ottavino for cash or a player to be named later. And they gave the Red Sox a minor league player in Frank Herman. So please take Adam Ottavino and this minor league players. There you go. So the Red Sox go, okay, if Adam Ottavino ever pitches for us, at least we get a minor league player as well. Indians re-signed Cesar Hernandez to play second base after the Lindor trade. They need somebody in the infield no matter what, so that's good for them because he's a consistent guy. So that's good to have there. Phillies signed Brian Mitchell to a minor league deal and Ivan Nova. Phillies are really needing some pitching depth. Arrieta's a free agent. I don't really trust Zach Wheeler to stay healthy for a full season. And their other pitchers have always been inconsistent as they moved on from some of them in the past couple of years. So Brian Mitchell's good organizational depth, and Ivan Nova will definitely pitch some innings for the Phillies this year as a back-end pitcher. Braves signed Adrian Janza to a minor league deal. Again, organizational depth as a backup utility player. That's good. Tigers signed Wilson Ramos to a 1-year deal. After having backup catcher Austin Romine for the whole season as the starter, they said, we're going to invest in a real starting catcher, even though the Buffalo is not the same player it used to be. It's better than what they've had. It gives their prospect Rogers time to develop. Now, the Phillies brought back JT Realmuto. The Yankees didn't sign him and trade Gary Sanchez. The Red Sox didn't sign him. The Angels didn't sign him. And the Mets didn't sign him. And the Braves didn't sign him. So he went back to the Phillies for 5 years to help the Phillies because their pitching staff is not that good, and having a great catcher will help them out as well. And he's still a middle-of-the-order hitter. Twins have signed Alberto Simmons to a 1-year deal. I don't understand this move because Jorge Polanco has hit consistently 20-plus home runs in a season, and Araz, the second baseman, played pretty well his first 2 years in the big league. But hey, Josh Adelson has a history of not staying healthy, and Polanco has been busted for PEDs before, so you know what? If Simmons is there, he automatically makes their infield defense way better and could always slide Polanco to third base if Donaldson misses time as well. And then the Giants have signed Tommy Estelle. I'm like, okay, cool. But they had just last year signed Wilmer Flores to a multi-year deal to play second base, and they got to play their Mauricio Dubon, their prospect they got from the Brewers, in the outfield because they have infield cover. So I'm like, why would they then sign another guy? Listella's good enough to be an everyday player. Then you got Wilmer Flores. They got too many guys, and it's not like the DH is instituted, so Wilmer Flores can be DH. So I'm like, okay, 1 year deal won't kill him, but 3 years? I don't understand that. The Orioles have signed Freddie Galvis because they traded away their shortstop in Iglesias to the Angels. So it's, again, just swapping out the chairs of just an average shortstop who could really be a backup, and they got designated Chris Shaw for assignment. So Galvis just plays hard. That's a good thing for them. The Jays have signed Marcus Semien to a 1 year deal, which, again, makes no sense. Guerrero lost weight in the offseason, and there were rumors he was going to go back to third base. And Rowdy Tellez is going to play first base, and you keep Biggio at second base instead of moving him all over the outfield, all over the infield, and alongside Bichette. Because when you get yourself George Springer, and you got Gurriel again, a shortstop migrated to the outfield because there's not enough room in the infield, and Randall Grichuk and Teoscar Hernandez on the team. Grichuk was going to get a bat to DH, but now, with Semien on the team, he's not a great defensive shortstop. Keep Bichette where it is. They're probably going to play Semien second base, and then ask Bichette to move all the way to third base. Then have Guerrero go back to playing first base or continue to play first base. And then Tellez is probably not going to play if Grichuk's going to be the DH. So that's where, again, that move doesn't make sense because the Blue Jays have too many position players. That's why they have infielders playing in the outfield already to begin with. The Mets signed Aaron Loop to a 1 year deal that gives him a left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen. That's good for them. The Yankees to replace Adam Ottavino signed Darren O'Day to 1 year. And if that dude's healthy, he's a really good setup man. Nationals signed Blake Swire to a minor league deal. Again, they lost Kurt Suzuki in free agency, so them getting themselves Blake Swire and Wellington Castillo in camp gives them an opportunity to compete for the backup job. The Blue Jays have traded for Steven Matz, which really helps them out because their pitching is kind of question marks, some of them outside of Ryu. Like, Ryu is obviously a guaranteed pitcher to be good as he finished the top 3 in Cy Young voting last year. So them getting Steven Matz is good. I don't understand with the Mets. I know that you added Stroman and you kept Stroman, you added Carrasco, and you just got Joey Lucchesi from the Padres. But as good as, Carrasco can be and Marcus Stroman can be, Marcus Stroman opted out of the season last year after barely pitching. So are you sure he's going to be good for a full season? Carrasco, I'm not talking about him battling leukemia. In general, he's never been a healthy pitcher, so again, relying on that. And then Syndergaard is coming off Tommy John surgery. There's 3 question marks right there. So unless it's going to be DeGrom, Syndergaard, Stroman, Carrasco, and Lucchesi, and then you're like, okay, we don't need Steven Matz. Then you're like, okay, fine, maybe. But there's 3 question marks. And obviously they went and got themselves pitchers like Josh Winowski, Sean Reed-Foley, Yennsy Diaz. So some minor league depth there, but nothing that amazing. Marlins DFA'd Jordan Yamamoto, so his chance of being in the major leagues is probably going down. Cubs signed Cole Stewart to a 1 year deal, and this dude's bounced around from team to team. I don't know why he got a major league deal out of the Cubs. The Cubs have been crying poverty and letting all their guys go. So why give this guy a major league deal when he's more of a minor league deal signing? The Brewers signed Blaine Hardy to a minor league deal. They definitely need the bullpen help. Outside of Hader, they need some guys to set up for him. The Nationals signed Alex Avila, so Blake Swire and Wellington Castillo, they got competition with Alex Avila on the team there, as that will help the John Gomes having a good veteran backup with him. Cardinals have brought back Adam Wainwright. That will help the Cardinals, who definitely need pitching depth in their rotation. The Phillies signed Matt Moore, who was pitching overseas. If that dude is healthy, that's a pretty good decision for them. That's why Ivan Nova and him could just piece the back end of the rotation. Because at one point before Matt Moore battled injuries, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. So I feel like if he pitched well last year overseas and he pitches well for the Phillies, they'll help him out. In order to do that, they DFA'd Ian Hamilton, a former Sox reliever. This dude just keeps going back from team to team. Now, interesting news, Masahiro Tanaka, who had supposedly could have had Tommy John surgery a few years back, opted for the rehab. And he hasn't had his arm fall off or anything like that. He's pitched pretty durable and really reliant for the Yankees, especially in the playoffs. Now, the Yankees, as I said, lost Paxton and Jay Happ to free agency. And Tanaka's like, okay, 3/5 of the Yankees rotation is gone. So that's why they got Kluber. And that's why they went and got Jameson Ty on a trade. And they got Severino coming back from his injury. So I was like, okay, the Yankees really want to bring Tanaka back. Well, it really would hurt them if Toronto Boston or Tampa Bay signed him. Now, I don't think he was going to go to Tampa Bay with the way they do pitchers, but it would have really hurt the Yankees there. Sox and Twins, who were in playoff contention, it would have helped them out. And the Rangers and Angels are not a playoff team, but it would definitely help their pitching issues out. And the Astros could always use another pitcher. And then the A's, who, they could also, but really Seattle could be an interesting place because they like a lot of Asian baseball players that go to, like to go to Seattle. And the Cubs, they're not going anywhere, but they could use pitching. St. Louis and Milwaukee and Cincinnati could always use a pitcher, especially St. Louis and Milwaukee. The Mets, Braves, and Phillies and Nationals, who all are playoff teams, could also use it. I don't think you'd go to the Marlins. The Dodgers would love to have had Tanaka in the rotation. So with the Giants, who are always looking for pitching, and the Diamondbacks, who need pitching, the Padres, after all the pitching moves they made, they don't need him. He wouldn't go to Colorado. So outside of like 5 teams, I feel like 20-something teams could have used Masahiro Tanaka this season to pitch 200 innings for them. But he is re-signed with the team he originally originated back home. So happy trails. Some hopefully does well. That just means I'm not buying his baseball card because he's no longer a Major League Baseball pitcher. Daniel Murphy has announced his retirement. The former Mets natural-born third baseman with David Wright blocked. He played blocked by David Wright. He played left field. He played first base, and then eventually mostly a second baseman. He was competent enough. Then he played for the Rockies recently, where they signed him to this big-term deal to play first base, even though the Rockies needed a second baseman. He split some time with the Cubs and Washington and helped Washington in the playoffs. Yes, he didn't win a World Series with, the team, but he had some important hits for the Nationals. So happy trails to him. Thanks for listening to another edition of MLB Hotstove of the 2021 offseason, Week 10. For On the Radar Tablog, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.